All right. Hello. I am so tired. I have been batch recording for what feels like forever. And I also took the time to go get something to drink. Okay. And this is the last video that I am recording for this batch session. So, anyways, this is a video where we're going to talk about books that have a timeline essentially for staying on my shelves. They are on the spreadsheet, but the thing is I have had these books for maybe 7 years now, and I have not touched them at all since I've bought them. And so I'm kind of putting like a timeline on them, and I'm trying to decide between 3 months to 5 months. If they're not read, they're gone. They're out of here. So let's go ahead and let's dive into it. I'm not sure which of those time frames I'm going to use. So right now it's between 3 to 5. So I'll be doing an update on this because it is going to be like a little series. So we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and let's start talking about these. So first up on this list is Mage Against the Machine by Sean Barger. I got this off of Book Outlet. I think it was like $2 on there. And I was intrigued by the idea. Mages versus robots. Like two of my favorite things. But I bought it, and then it's just been sitting on my shelf, and it's been sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. It is actually the first one that I have started. I will say it's kind of a situation right now. I have read 76 pages. That is only 2 chapters. That's only 2 chapters. That's how long these chapters are. There's 15 chapters in this 500-page book. That is obnoxious. Okay? So I'm already a little irritated about that. Also, there's just so much happening in each chapter that I'm like, these should have been separate chapters. It really should have been. So we'll see. I'm going to keep going, see what happens. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right. These next 2 are Belgarath the Sorcerer and Pulgera the Sorceress, which are by David and Lee Eddings. These are part of the Belgrade world, and these one follows Belgarath and his story, and the other one follows Pulgera. And if you had watched I don't know if I'm posting this one before the unhaul or after the unhaul, but I am getting rid of all my other David Eddings books in the Belgrade series just because I'm not like super attached to them or anything. So this is more of like I want to just go ahead and read those and get them out of here kind of thing, because I don't see myself holding on to them either. But that's even on account if I even get to them. So we'll see. Next we have The Wizard Lord, Volume 1 of the Annals of the Chosen by Lawrence Watt Evans. This was a cover buy. I still actually don't know anything about it. But I definitely hope within the next 3 to 5 months that I give this one a try. And, if I fall in love with it, then I find the rest of the series. If I don't, then hey, I gave it a try. Apparently I started it at some point. We're just going to take that out of there. Apparently I attempted to start it at some point and I just don't remember. Next we have Solari by Michael Johnston. I know there is a sequel for this. It came out, I think, a couple years after this one did, but if I remember correctly, it's Egyptian based, and that was why I initially picked it up. But then I never went back. I never picked it up. Like, I picked it up, bought it, and brought it home, and then never touched it. So we're gonna see. This is The Templar Legacy by Steve Berry. I find the Templars to be extremely fascinating point in history. And I do like reading about them. I would actually prefer to read Dan Jones's take on the Templars, just because I like the way he presents historical information. But I've had this one for like a good seven years. And so I'd like to give it a try to see if maybe I, like the way this Berry guy presents the Templars. And I don't even know if that's actually supposed to be like a fictional take on the Templars or if it's supposed to be more of a historical take. I don't really know anything. Next we have City of Lies by Sam Hawke. For the longest time I thought this was a standalone. It's a duology. And I remember I got it for like $2 or something like that. And it's not in the best shape, you know, but it was $2. So we'll see what happens with that one. And I honestly think I bought it because it was like $2. This next set, because it's a set, it is me giving an author one more try, one more chance, and it's the Gordon R. Dixon, the Dragon and the George series. This is all of them, plus one more because I have one of them in hardcover, but this is the entire series. I have read the first book and I despised it. I really, really did not like it. And because I have all of them and my best friend helped me get them all, I want to at least try book 2 just to see if maybe from book 1 to book 2, maybe the author, you know, decided to not be such a bad writer in regards to his female characters. You know, we'll see if his humor got better. But it is like, the idea is interesting. You have a guy who gets sucked into like a portal essentially, and it's an isekai. Let's be real, it's an isekai. He gets sucked into a portal that sends him to a fantasy world, and he's, you know, trying to save his wife. The idea is interesting, but the execution of that first book was really, really bad, and it's really made me sit here and go, so I want to see if I'm going to, within the next, you know, 3 to 5 months, give him that second chance. If not, the whole series is gone. So, yeah. Next we have Cold Iron and Black Thorn by Stina Licht. I have read a book by Stina Licht before. I did not like it. But it was a newer one, and it was a sci-fi one. This one, it's that, what is it? Flintlock. It's Flintlock fantasy, and that was why I picked it up. I thought it would be interesting. It's a duology. They are chunkers, you know? So that is a little like, oh gosh, that's probably why I haven't touched them yet. Plus, I had bought those first, and then I had read that sci-fi one that she did that I didn't like, and, you know, it's kind of made it a little hard to want to go and pick these ones up. But we'll see, because it is an older series. Maybe her writing was different, you know. Next we have a trilogy, which is The Six Gun Tarot, The Queen of Swords, and The Shotgun Arcana by R.S. Belcher. There's actually, I think, 2 more books part of this series. I think it's either a quartet or it's whatever 5 books are called. But this one, I do have a feeling that I'm going to like this one. I'm just putting it on this list to force myself to read it because, one, this is the one I started with, which is book 3. And then my best friend found me book 2 in hardcover. And then I finally, after months, almost 2 years actually, found the first book. So now this is, like I said, this is more so on the list to like finally force myself. You finally got them all. You can finally read them kind of thing. Like I'm kind of using this list to kind of like help force myself to pick up some of these. Then we have the Dinosaur Knights trilogy. So we have Dinosaur Lords, the Dinosaur Knights, and the Dinosaur Princess by Victor Milan. First of all, just want to point out that these covers are by Richard Anderson. Love that man's art. Gosh, it's so amazing. Like, look at it. Okay, but I picked these up because I was like, the idea of knights and princes and princesses and dinosaurs was just amazing. Like, that just sounds like a win, okay? Like, that just sounds like it's made of a win. And yet, I still have yet to actually pick it up and open it and go, this is a win. Or not. You know, we never know. So, we'll see. Then we have A Plague of Giants by Kevin Hearn. This is as you can see, I attempted to start it at one point. This is the first in a series. I think it's called The Seven Kennings, if I remember correctly. And I have a very hit or miss relationship with Kevin Hearn's writing. And I think it's more so it's his humor that I don't mesh well with. So I'm a little concerned, and that's probably why I haven't like picked that one up yet. So we'll see how it goes when I maybe get to it or maybe don't, you know. Then we have The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Grattan. this was just a random buy that I picked up because it was like $2-3. I didn't know anything about it. Still don't actually know anything about it. I just know that I have it. An island at risk and an empire poised for ruin. The line of Lear will be soaked in blood. So it is related to the King Lear story, mythos. I don't know what we're calling it. So interested in that. You know, I have heard some good things about it from some booktubers that I do know who do like it. So we'll see if I get to it or not. And then the last one on this list is another one that I've owned for way too long, and it is Blood of the Four by Christopher Golden and Tim Levin. It is, from what I can tell, a standalone. Again, it's another one that I picked up for like $2 off of Book Outlet. There was a time when I was just really buying anything that was like $2-3 off of Book Outlet. It was not good. So again, I don't know anything about this one either. So I'm definitely hoping that within these next 3 to 5 months, I can get through these and like prioritize these and kind of like see which ones are worth keeping, which ones I'm going to finally let go of, you know, which ones have been hidden gems this entire time, or which ones are not hidden gems, you know, we'll see. So those are my priority. Those are, I don't want to call them like priority, but they are the ones that have a deadline. You know, if after, like I said, either 3 to 5 months, if I haven't read them, they've got to go, because I'm not going to pick them up after that. Like, I'm just not, because of like how old they are and how long I've had them. Like 7 years. That's a long time, you know. Like, there's other books that I've had like for 2 years that I'm like, oh, I'm going to read that now. But 7 is a lot. You know, 7 gives me more like a I'm never going to touch it kind of vibe. So yeah, I want to give them the opportunity. So we shall see. So if you guys have read any of these, I would love to hear your opinions on them. If there's any that you think I should definitely prioritize over one over the other, let me know. If there's some where you guys are just like, that book's actual trash and you're not going to like it because it's not your vibe, tell me that too, you know? So until then, bye.